Welcome to the Timeless Voice, where history meets storytelling and every word helps you grow in English. In today's journey, we'll explore the fascinating awards and recognitions of Vijay Mallya, all told in clear, simple English to help you learn new words, improve listening skills, and enjoy real stories. So sit back, listen closely, and let your English learning begin. Let's talk about Vijay Mallya, a well-known Indian businessman and a former politician. Vijay Mallya was born on December 18, 1955. He's currently living in the UK and is facing serious legal trouble. The Indian government is trying to bring him back to India through extradition. This means they want him to return and face charges related to financial crimes. Although his last appeal to stop the extradition was rejected in 2020, as of April 2025, he still hasn't been sent back. A judge recently said that Mallya is still trying to fight the extradition in other ways. Mallya comes from a business family. His father, Vijay Mallya, was also a businessman, especially in the alcohol industry. Vijay Mallya used to be the chairman of United Spirits, which is India's largest liquor company. He still remains the chairman of United Breweries Group, a large Indian company involved in alcohol, aviation infrastructure, real estate, and even fertilizers. Over the years, Mallya also held top positions in major companies like Sanofi India and Bayer CropScience for more than 20 years. He also started and owned Kingfisher Airlines, which later shut down due to major financial losses. He was once the co-owner of the Force India Formula One racing team and owned the Royal Challengers Bangalore cricket team. Early life, Mallya was born in Karnataka, into a Konkani-speaking family. He went to school at La Martiniere in Kolkata, and then studied at St. Xavier's College, where he earned a degree in commerce. During his college years, he interned at his family's businesses and also trained at Hoechst Ad in the United States. In 1986, he married Samira Tyabji, who worked as an air hostess. They had a son, Siddharth Mallya, born in 1987. Although they later divorced, Mallya has said that they still have a good relationship. Later, in 1993, he married Rekha, a childhood friend. They have 2 daughters together, and Mallya also adopted her daughter from a previous marriage. Reports have suggested that he might marry again, this time to Pinky Lawani, a former air hostess from Kingfisher Airlines. Despite being famous for his luxurious lifestyle, Mallya is also known for his religious side. He is a devoted follower of Lord Venkateshwara of Tirupati and Kuki Subramania. On his 57th birthday in 2012, he even donated 3 kilograms of gold bricks to the temple. That same year, he also donated gold-plated doors worth nearly 1 crore rupees to Kuka Subramania Temple. Even though Kingfisher Airlines was suffering major financial losses at the time, business career Mallya became the chairman of United Breweries Group in 1983 after the death of his father. At just 28 years old, he was leading a major company. Under his leadership, the business grew into a group of more than 60 companies and had an annual turnover of around $11 billion by 1999. Over the years, he expanded the group's portfolio by acquiring companies like Berger Paints, Best and Crompton, Mangalore Chemicals and Fertilizers, and even a few film and magazine publishing businesses. Kingfisher Beer, one of his most famous brands, became the top-selling beer in India and was sold in over 50 countries. Under his guidance, United Spirits Ltd. became the world's second-largest liquor company by volume, selling over 100 million cases. However, in 2012, he gave up control of United Spirits to Diageo, a global liquor company, although he still kept a minority share. In 2015, he was forced to resign as chairman and was supposed to receive a $75 million exit deal. But Indian courts stopped that payment due to the ongoing financial cases against him. One of Mallya's biggest failures was Kingfisher Airlines, which started in 2005. The airline struggled with huge debts and eventually shut down. By 2013, it hadn't paid salaries for 15 months, lost its flying license, and owed more than $1 billion to banks. This amount grew even more in the following years. Mallya was labeled a willful defaulter, meaning he was accused of deliberately not paying back loans. There were also serious allegations like money laundering and misusing funds. In March 2016, banks approached the Supreme Court to prevent him from leaving India, but by then, he had already left. Multiple arrest warrants were issued, including from courts in Hyderabad and Mumbai. Investigations revealed that he had allegedly transferred nearly 40 crore to foreign accounts. The Enforcement Directorate, a government agency that investigates financial crimes, started seizing Mallya's properties and assets. By the end of 2016, they had attached over 600 crore worth of his assets, one of the biggest asset seizures in India, under the Prevention of Money Laundering Act. They also contacted countries like the UK, the US, and others to freeze his foreign assets. In 2020, reports said Mallya had offered a settlement of around 960 crore to Indian banks, compared to the original principal of 90 crore. However, the banks did not accept this offer. Political career and controversies of Vijay Mallya. Now let's talk about Vijay Mallya's political career and the controversy surrounding him. Mallya started his political journey with the Akhila Bharata Janata Dal, but in 2003 he joined the Janata Party, which was then led by Subramanian Swamy. He served as the national working president of the Janata Party until 2010. Interestingly, Vijay Mallya was elected twice to the Rajya Sabha, which is the upper house of India's parliament. He did this as an independent candidate from Karnataka, first in 2002 with the support of the Janata Dal, secular, and the Congress Party, and again in 2010 with support from the Janata Dal, secular, and the BJP. But in May 2016, Mallya resigned from the Rajya Sabha, just one day before the ethics panel was about to recommend his expulsion. At that time, he had already left India, and his passport had been revoked. In his resignation letter, he claimed that he was being treated unfairly and said that government officials had presented false information about him. Now, let's move into the controversies. Vijay Mallya was once known as the king of good times because of his flashy lifestyle. But starting in 2012, he became involved in a number of financial scandals. On 20 March 2016, he left India, saying he wanted to live closer to his children in Britain. However, back in India, things were not going well. A group of 17 banks was trying to recover around $90 billion, that's over $1 billion in unpaid loans. Allegedly, Mallya had routed this money into dozens of companies across the globe. Government agencies like the Income Tax Department and the CBI began investigating him for fraud and money laundering. Despite the efforts to stop him, Mallya had already left India when the Supreme Court was approached in March 2016. Shortly after, the Enforcement Directorate filed a case under the Prevention of Money Laundering Act. They alleged that Mallya had diverted $9 billion, around $110 million, abroad, which was originally meant for Kingfisher Airlines. On 24 April 2016, the Indian government officially revoked his passport. Days later, he resigned from Parliament. Interpol was approached for an international arrest warrant, and the High Court in Hyderabad issued a non-bailable warrant against him for failing to pay $5 million to the Hyderabad International Airport. By June 2016, Mallya was officially declared a proclaimed offender under Indian law. Around the same time, his Formula One team, Force India, was facing financial issues. The team went into administration in 2018 and was later bought out and renamed Racing Point F1. Let's talk about his arrests in the UK. On 18 April 2017, Mallya was arrested in London by the UK police on India's request. He was released on bail, pending further hearings. Later that year, on 9th May, the Supreme Court of India found him guilty of contempt because he had secretly transferred $40 million to his children, violating court orders. He didn't appear in court, and the contempt case was paused until he could be brought back. Mallya continued to claim innocence. He said the entire legal battle was a witch hunt and insisted he had done nothing wrong. He said he was happy to face a fair trial in the UK, where, according to him, the courts were impartial. Later in 2017, he was arrested again in London as part of a money laundering case, but was granted bail once more. Indian authorities had filed to extradite him on charges related to massive bank fraud. In 2018, a UK court ordered him to pay UK $18.1 million to Indian banks. He also had to cover court fees, interest, and other legal costs. The banks even tried to take over his luxury home in London worth around £20 million, but Mallya claimed it was owned by his mother. Eventually, he reached a deal with UBS, the bank that held the mortgage on that property. Under the agreement, he could continue living there, but if he failed to pay the mortgage by April 2020, UBS had the right to take possession. In December 2018, a UK court ruled that Mallya could be extradited to India. He appealed that decision, but in April 2020, London's High Court rejected his plea. He then made a final appeal to the UK Supreme Court in May 2020. That appeal was also denied, which meant he could have been extradited within 28 days. However, in October 2020, India was told the extradition couldn't go ahead due to a confidential legal issue. Then, in July 2022, India's Supreme Court sentenced Vijay Mallya to 4 months in jail for contempt of court in the 2017 case. He was also fined $0 in order to return the $40 million he had transferred, along with 8% interest. If he failed to do so, he could face even more jail time and seizure of his properties. Awards and achievements. Vijay Mallya has received several awards and recognitions throughout his career, both in India and internationally. One of the early honors he received was an honorary doctorate in business administration, which was awarded to him in 1997 by the Southern California University for Professional Studies. Just to clarify, this university is different from the well-known University of Southern California. He was also given one of France's highest civilian honors, the title of Officier de la Légion d'honneur. This is a prestigious award that recognizes outstanding contributions to society and was given to him sometime before 2012. The World Economic Forum once recognized him as a global leader for tomorrow, a title given to individuals who show strong potential for shaping the future through their professional work and leadership. And in 2010, Mallya received the Entrepreneur of the Year award at the Asian Awards, which celebrates the achievements of individuals of Asian heritage in various fields across the world. Thank you for listening to The Timeless Voice. We hope this story helped you learn something new and improve your English. Keep practicing, stay curious, and never stop learning. Until next time, take care and have a wonderful day.